Good morning from Fast Company. Here's our daily look into what's driving today's creative business leaders. Intelligence is a powerful tool, but it's also a trap. Sometimes the bad decisions that sink great companies or end good marriages come from thinking very hard in the wrong direction with total conviction and nobody willing to interrupt. People get good at justifying irrational choices. The bad news is that the smarter you are, the better you become at making a convincing argument for what you already wanted to believe. Theoretical physicist Richard Feynman, who knew a thing or two about being smart, once said, "The first principle is that you must not fool yourself, and you are the easiest person to fool." He also wrote, "I'm smart enough to know that I'm dumb." He watched brilliant colleagues talk themselves into nonsense with perfectly logical steps. The practical problem is that our reasoning has been trained for decades to be right at all costs. Schools and institutions reward you for building better arguments, defending your positions, and winning debates. Nobody recognized you for noticing you might be wrong. So by the time everyone is brilliant, they've spent years getting really good at justification, and almost no time at all getting good at doubt. So when a smart person decides that this stock is a sure bet or that this business plan will work, their intelligence doesn't go looking for the cracks. It goes to work building a wall around the conclusion they've already reached. Psychologists have a term for it. It's called motivated reasoning. In study after study, the people with the greatest cognitive ability have the strongest bias when an idea challenges their politics, identity, or ego. If you want to buy an overpriced asset or invest in terrible ideas, your intelligent brain will act as a highly paid lawyer defending a guilty client. You'll use your tools of logic to serve an underlying emotion at all costs. This is why smarter minds suffer from domain-specific blindness. They assume that because they're an expert chess player, a brilliant coder, or a successful surgeon, their clear thinking skill automatically transfers to investing, relationships, management, or living well. If you have a high IQ, you're exceptionally good at spotting patterns. If you already want a certain outcome, you'll look at a set of random knowledge and find the exact pattern that proves you're right. You don't see the world as it is. You see it as your arguments require it to be. The more capable you are, the more confident you tend to feel. That confidence is earned in your area of expertise. The problem is your brain doesn't file confidence by category. It just feels like a general sense of I'm good at figuring things out, and that feeling leaks into other domains where you have zero track record. The surgeon who's brilliant in an operating room assumes that brilliance transfers to evaluating a business partner. It doesn't. Skill in one domain buys you nothing in another, but confidence doesn't know that. Daniel Kahneman, who spent a career studying this, called it the illusion of validity, the persistent feeling that you know what's going on. He wrote in his book, Thinking Fast and Slow, "Confidence is a feeling which reflects the coherence of the information and the cognitive ease of processing it. Confidence measures whether the story you've told yourself feels true, whether or not it is. Smart people build beautiful models in their heads, but they can still be wrong about the thing that matters. That's why they fail from excess certainty. Give a brilliant trader 3 good calls in a row and their brain will manufacture a theory explaining why they have a special skill. 2 successful product launches can make that manager fall for the intelligence trap." Writer Nassim Taleb says we're fooled by randomness, sometimes mistaking a lucky streak for skill. And once we believe it's a skill, we bet bigger. The smarter you are, the more convincing the false theory you build to explain your luck. The only way out is self-suspicion. Charlie Munger, who built his career and his friendship with Warren Buffett partly on avoiding stupid mistakes, had a simple operating rule: invert your decision-making process. That means where people look for how to succeed, focus on how you'd fail, then avoid doing that. It's a strange habit for the brain, but it works. It is remarkable how much long-term advantage we have gotten by trying to be consistently not stupid instead of trying to be very intelligent, Munger once said. Cultivate the habit of actively trying to disprove your own favorite ideas. If you can't find the flaws in your decision, you're not looking hard enough. Kahneman recommended something similar. Slow down before your high-stakes decisions and force yourself through a pre-mortem process. Imagine the decision has already failed spectacularly. Write down why. It's a humility exercise, the muscle smart people have never had to build because their intelligence kept getting them out of trouble until the one time it didn't. Smart people think too well in one direction and never turn around to check their back. The real lesson here is whether you've built a habit of doubting your own conclusions before reality does it for you. The one question you're avoiding is this: have I looked hard enough for the reason I might be wrong? It's the only thing standing between a good mind and a costly mistake. Your brain is good at manufacturing brilliant excuses for terrible behavior. To protect yourself, you must value objective truth more than satisfying your ego. Next time you feel absolutely certain that you've made the perfect, most rational decision, make a list of all the reasons you might be wrong. Feynman said, "We are trying to prove ourselves wrong as quickly as possible because only in that way can we find progress." Your intellect is an engine for life, but it can drive you forward at breakneck speed in the wrong direction. The only real antidote to making terrible choices is the courage to look past your own cleverness and accept reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. That's all today from Fast Company. Talk to you tomorrow.
Spoken Layer.